Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. Ice is able to freeze the time. Maybe not literally, but in some corners of the planet, it serves as a natural phenomenon for preservation. Nature really is badass. And just in case you didn't know, let me show you how. From 2 fish frozen while fighting to the Yucca mammoth, today we're looking at 7 animals that were literally frozen in time. Let's begin. Number 7. 2 frozen fish. Frozen fish is not an uncommon phenomenon. You must have some of them in your fridge too, I'm sure. But I'm not talking about those boring fish. No, this amazing video will literally leave you questioning if there's anything nature cannot do. In a lake in Indiana, 2 brothers found the most unusual frozen thing they'd ever seen: a pike eating a brass fish. Some people thought this was fake when it went viral on the internet, but surprisingly, it isn't fake. Just very, very disturbing. The footage came from 2 brothers who had been fishing on Indiana's Wawasee Lake when they saw what looked like a pike in the middle of eating a bass. The pair had been frozen in place, and no one on the internet seemed to believe it when they posted a photo. To prove those internet haters wrong, they posted a video of themselves cutting the fish out of the frozen lake using a chainsaw. They really had been frozen solid. Several theories emerged on Reddit about the incidents. The best one was from one of the brothers himself, Alex Babbage, who told Global News he thinks a fisherman caught the bass, but it was too small to keep, so he released it. The bass died anyway and floated up under the ice when it was still thin. Then the pike saw the easy meal, tried to eat it, but choked and died. Once both fish were dead, they both floated under the surface of the lake, which then froze into a thick layer of ice, trapping their bodies at the surface. However it happened, this sure is a surprising thing to find while fishing. Number 6. Moose. Mother Nature can be as brutal as she is beautiful, which is exactly what one Alaskan man witnessed back in 2016. It is surprising enough to find any animal frozen in ice. So imagine finding 2 moose together, which is already a rare animal, frozen under the ice with their antlers out. School teacher Brad Webster and a friend made the unusual discovery of 2 of those bull moose partially frozen under the ice, locked at the antlers. The 2 men found the moose while walking along a frozen area about 10 miles outside of town. With the help of a few more people, they removed the animals from about 8 inches of ice covering open water, recovering some of the spoiled meat for dog food and trapping bait. Webster said the meat was left at the site for anyone wanting it. It was the end of moose rutting season, and the animals likely were fighting over a female moose. Webster said that one of the animals was wounded by the other animal's antlers and perhaps died as their antlers were caught together, dragging the rival down with it. Despite the fact that more than half of their bodies were frozen beneath the surface of the ice, Erickson and his friends still worked to free the moose, helping to salvage some meat and a head mount of the once-in-a-lifetime find. Number 5. Wave madness. This is probably the creepiest thing you'll see today. Yes, what you are seeing right now is a bunch of fish frozen in a wave. No, it's not fake at all. Like the other frozen wildlife, the fish are striking because of how they appear to have frozen mid-action. It looks like they've just leapt into the air, but they never made it back down into the lake. It's a reminder that the freezing weather we're so in awe of can be as brutal as it is beautiful. So how did these fish end up frozen in a wave feet above the surface of the water? Kelly Preheim, who took the photo of the phenomenon, was so struck by the sight that she devoted herself to finding out. She spoke to biologists at the Lake Andes Wildlife Refuge where she saw the frozen phenomenon, and they explained their theory. According to them, the fish didn't actually freeze mid-jump. Instead, when snowfall and ice clouded the surface of the lake, algae and underwater plants were unable to produce oxygen, and the fish suffocated. Then, as the ice expanded, parts of it buckled and were forced up into the air, fish and all. Preheim told a reporter that the sight was even more spectacular and bizarre in person. She said, "In this picture, it looks like there's about a dozen to 15, but the surface of the lake in some parts had thousands of dead fish." Her only regret was that she didn't take more photos. Nevertheless, the images she did capture give us a glimpse into the kind of surreal scene that only nature can create. Number 4. Cave lion. Up next, we have an animal about which scientists had no idea actually existed. What's better than finding one cave lion frozen thousands of years ago? Finding two of them. These were discovered together in Russia. The cold permafrost preserved the small bodies of those two furry and wide-pawed cave lion cubs, one of them in almost pristine condition. The two mummified cubs, nicknamed Uyan and Dina after the Uyandina River where they were found, were just about 1 week old when they died, likely crushed by extensive collapse of the sediments in the den, according to researchers. These cubs are believed to be 30,000 years old. The ice that encapsulates the cubs has preserved incredible details, such as their tan yellow fur and their short ears and tails. With the use of CT scanning, paleontologists can even examine the inside of the cubs' bodies. Incredible, isn't it? Number 3. A frozen fox. If you think this is from the animated movie The Ice Age, think again. Sometimes, the animals scientists find frozen in ice are much more recent, and this makes sense because modern animals can freeze in ice just like those that existed back in the day. That is also the case with certain foxes. Their cuteness was not enough to prevent them from getting frozen solid in the ice-cold waters of the Arctic conditions in which they were found. This particular critter was found by a hunter, Franz Steele, in a German lake. He told reporters that he found the block containing the animal while out next to the Danube River in the southwest of the country. The hunter says he thinks the fox drowned and was then frozen solid. Franz says it's not unusual for animals to break through the frozen surface of the river in winter, and says it's a warning to people not to walk on the ice at this time of year. This particular specimen was not the first found by this hunter. He also claims to have found a wild deer and a wild boar frozen in ice before this fox. Now, it's not clear whether this is true, but what we do know is that this fox is displayed as an Arctic appendage to a German hotel. It serves as a warning to the dangers of ice. Number 2. Frog. This poor frog has a tragic story to tell. The little guy was looking for love in all the wrong places. While searching for a frog to mate with, he completely froze on the Norwegian lake. It almost looks like it's sleeping, but sadly, this little frog will not jump again, as it froze solid trying to cross a lake in Norway. It is thought that a sudden rise in temperatures fooled the hibernating amphibian and it ventured out across the lake to find a girlfriend. However, as the lake froze, possibly overnight, the frog would have returned to hibernation out in the open and died from the cold. 54-year-old photographer Svein Nordrum discovered the creature caught out by freezing conditions. He said that he was out skating for a couple of hours and suddenly he saw something on the surface of the ice. When he saw it was a frog, frozen stiff. He was quite shocked. According to him, it was quite sad to see such a sight, but at the same time, it was also beautiful. One Reddit user said that the frog might not be dead yet. Frogs are known to freeze completely in winter, but when the temperature rises, their insides warm up and the creature suddenly comes back to life. I have to say, these little amphibians are pretty amazing creatures. Number 1. The Yucca Mammoth. Yukagir tribe members found the corpse of a young female mammoth on the coast of an area called Oyagasky Yar in Yakutia in 2009. Dubbed Yucca after its finders, its skin and some of its strawberry blonde fur are well preserved, as are a lot of mummified muscles and ligaments. Unusually, its trunk is intact. Research suggests the animal was 8 to 10 years old when it died. They also found that mammoths lived 39,000 years ago, and the height of the mammoth was almost the same as a modern-day elephant, which is around 14 feet shoulder height. Before the discovery, nobody knew what mammoths were like at this stage of development. The researchers were surprised to see the beginnings of tusks that had not yet broken through the skin. Yucca had unhealed cuts and scratches that suggest it was attacked by a large predator, probably a cave lion, shortly before its death. However, they're not thought to have penetrated enough to have caused its death. Meanwhile, a long straight cut and marks in a repeating ladder pattern could have been made by human tools. It's believed that with a bit of luck and perseverance, we might once again see these giants alive and well. Have you ever found any animal frozen? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.